Archangel Michael says, I ordered you to open this now, you have been warned. Someone in your family who has already passed away wants to tell you something. Open quickly. This is not a message from the earth. It is a sound that echoes from realms unseen, whispered across galaxies of light and shadow, through veils of eternity. God says, you are not alone. You never have been. And today, the walls between worlds grow thin so that truth may pass through. Someone who loved you dearly, someone whose breath once danced with yours in the same rooms, now sends a trembling, radiant message from the other side. And I, the Lord your God, have permitted their voice to reach you. Because the time is now. Listen. You may feel chills as you read. That is no coincidence. That is your spirit awakening to the sound of memory wrapped in eternity. God says, your prayers have stirred heaven. Your longing has unlocked divine timing. You asked to understand. You asked to know why the storms keep finding you, why the silence of death still rings in your sleep, why certain people have been removed from your life without explanation. And now, I am answering. Archangel Michael has stood guard over you since your first cry. His sword is drawn in the spirit, but not against flesh and blood. He has deflected darkness meant to overtake your mind. And now, he speaks. He pleads. He commands with fire, you have skipped the signs too many times. You have ignored the nudges that tug at your chest, the dreams that feel too real, the whispers in your waking moments that carry more weight than any shout. Open this now. Someone in your family who has already passed away wants to speak. The voice comes from beyond the veil. It is a trembling yet steady pulse of emotion, wrapped in divine light. It comes from one who left too soon, or so it felt. One whose passing shattered you more than anyone knows. One whose absence still burns like an echo that never ends. They were not just kin. They were part of your soul. And now they stretch across the galaxies to deliver a warning, a blessing, and a release. I saw them betray you, their voice says, rippling through the spiritual dimensions. I saw how they lied to you when I was gone. I saw how they used your grief to manipulate you. I saw how you stopped trusting your own spirit because they told you that your dreams were wrong. But child, they were not wrong. You were hearing me. I was there. I never left. God says, your ancestor, your loved one, is bound to your destiny by blood and covenant. They carry the wisdom of heaven now. And they have pleaded for permission to warn you before it is too late. You have been sleeping beside snakes. You have been breaking bread with jealousy. You have been calling loyalty what is actually spiritual manipulation. And it is not your fault. You were too kind. You were too trusting. But now the time of innocence is over. Now I open your eyes. Finally, God is exposing this woman. Open it now before her lies grow so deep that they strangle your next blessing. She has moved among you in disguise. A friend. A helper. Perhaps even a family member. But her spirit has grown envious of your light. She speaks sweetly to your face, but she curses you when the door closes. The one who passed away saw it all. From their place beyond time, they have watched the poison spread. And they have wept. Not because they fear her, but because they know what you are carrying, and they know how fragile this moment is. Tell them not to trust the smile, they say. Tell them to pay attention to what happens when their name is mentioned in a room they're not in. Tell them to notice who celebrates their wins, and who stays silent. The one you think is harmless is the one blocking your promise. But not for long. Because now, heaven is intervening. You feel the stirring in your soul because you already knew. You've always known. But you were afraid to admit it. You didn't want to see the truth. You prayed for peace, not war. But now, God says, this is not war. This is deliverance. And I must remove what was sent to delay you before you lose another year to deception. You are standing in a sacred corridor now. The ground beneath your feet is holy. The moment is not casual. It was ordained. This message is not an accident. It was written in the ink of heaven and sealed with the breath of your ancestor. They are here. Around you. Watching. Loving. Guiding. Crying for your breakthrough. Archangel Michael says, there is something you must do. You must separate. You must trust what your soul is telling you. Do not doubt the signs any longer. Your freedom is tied to your willingness to obey even when it doesn't make sense. The shift will begin when you say yes. God says, your next blessing is wrapped in obedience. You cannot carry old soul ties into a new season. You cannot take contaminated love into sacred spaces. You must let go. And when you do, I will open the floodgates. I will restore what was stolen. I will return what was lost. I will multiply what was mocked. The one who passed away smiles now. Their spirit glows with peace. They are no longer bound by earthly wounds. But they are fiercely protective of your future. And they say, tell them I never stopped loving them. Tell them I have been guiding their steps. Tell them to trust their gut, that's me, that's us. The wind may stir. A chill may rise. That is not fear. That is recognition. You are being wrapped in the spiritual embrace of someone you thought you lost. But love doesn't die. And neither do covenants made in God. Finally, God is exposing this woman. open it now before her words become your delay. Heaven is cleansing your circle. God is answering your hidden questions. Archangel Michael is preparing your escape. And your ancestor is interceding for you in the courts of the Most High. This is the hour of divine reversal. What was meant to harm you will now elevate you. What was stolen will be returned. What was hidden will be revealed. And the lie that tried to replace your truth will be buried in the light. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not cursed. You are covered. Heaven waits for your yes. Do not delay. Archangel Michael says, I ordered you to open this now, you have been warned. Someone in your family who has already passed away wants to tell you something. Open quickly. You must understand, this is not a message that came by accident. This is the unfolding of a moment that was written in the stars before you even drew your first breath. Heaven has orchestrated this hour with great urgency and fierce love. God says, the clock of divine warning has struck its final chime. I have sent Archangel Michael with the sound of revelation. I have summoned your ancestor's spirit to speak, because the veil has grown thin. Listen closely now. The air around you is not still by coincidence. The pressure you feel behind your eyes is not imagination. You are standing at the door of spiritual awakening, and the moment you accept this truth, chains will begin to break that have held your life in pause for too long. Tell them this is their final delay, the voice of your departed whispers into the winds of eternity. Tell them I watched as they trusted those who only loved them for what they could take. Tell them I cried in the chambers of heaven when they believed they were unworthy. Tell them I never left their side. God says, you must remember who you are. You must awaken to what I have planted within you. There are gifts buried beneath your pain. There is vision still burning in your dreams. And there is someone among you who has done all they could to dim your light. But light cannot be dimmed by darkness when it is lit by God. The woman being exposed is closer than you imagine. She has smiled in your face. She has wrapped her envy in compliments. She has delayed divine appointments meant for you by sowing confusion and false loyalty. But now, finally, God is exposing this woman. Open it now before her lies take root in your next decision. Her time hiding in the folds of your trust is over. Your ancestor's voice trembles with fire and compassion. You were always too kind, and they mistook that kindness for weakness. But I see now that strength has always lived in your bones. You just needed permission to let it rise. This is your permission. Speak your truth. Walk away if you must. Choose peace over false harmony. Archangel Michael's wings stir the air. Do not delay. Heaven is aligned for you. The courts of the Most High have reached a verdict, and justice will be swift. But you must act in faith. There is no more room for pretending. There is no time for hesitation. You have been chosen to break this pattern for generations to come. God says, watch for signs in the next 3 days. There will be revelations through people, dreams, and sudden knowing. You will see behind masks. You will hear what was hidden. You will feel what you were once numb to. And in those moments, say yes to the truth. Even if it hurts. Especially if it hurts. The spirit of the one who passed is present even now. I remember the nights you cried for clarity. I heard the silent prayers you thought no one noticed. I was with you in the hospital room. I was with you in the quiet of your darkest hour. And I'm with you now, cheering you on as you prepare to step into the promise. Their words are wrapped in eternity. Do not grieve the disconnection from those who cannot go with you. Grieve instead what would have become of you had you stayed. The future you are about to step into requires the purest form of your light. And that light cannot shine beside shadows masked as love. God says, I have protected you from what you thought you wanted. I have withheld what would have destroyed you. And now, I am releasing what is for you. But only when your hands are no longer clinging to counterfeit connections. Let go. The Real is ready to arrive. Archangel Michael stands by the gate of your next season, holding the key in his hand. He will not open it until you are ready to walk through with clear eyes. Until you have released the familiar pain. Until you have chosen alignment over attachment. Your soul has known this for a while. The dreams. The whispers. The repeated numbers. The moments you felt watched over. They were all signs. Heaven has been trying to get your attention, but you've been afraid to see clearly. Fear no more. Truth is safer than illusion. God says, the enemy of your promise often wears a familiar face. But discernment is your weapon now. Use it. Do not second-guess what I am showing you. When they lie again, you will feel it. When they smile too quickly, you will know. When they disappear during your hardship, take note. You are not being paranoid, you are being awakened. Your ancestor is weeping now, not from sorrow, but from pride. Look how far you've come, they whisper. Look at the strength you didn't know you had. Look at the love still blooming in your heart despite all the betrayal. That is your power. That is your inheritance. Finally, God is exposing this woman. Open it now before her presence invites more delay. She has whispered doubt into your destiny. She has smiled while praying for your downfall. But she cannot block what God has blessed, unless you allow her to stay. This is your moment to release, to rise, to be reborn. The light is shifting now. The heavens are trembling in anticipation. The angels are watching. And God is saying, I will restore the years. I will redeem the loss. I will replace the sorrow with joy. But first, the separation. First, the clarity. First, your yes. You are not reading this by mistake. You are standing in the middle of divine orchestration. Heaven has bent to reach you. The one who passed has prayed for this moment. Archangel Michael has declared protection. And the voice of God is thundering in your soul, open. Receive. Obey. The blessing is near. If you believe in God, type Amen. Archangel Michael says, now that the veil is lifted, look again. Look at the ones who laughed with you but never clapped for you. Look at the ones who hugged you tightly yet hoped you wouldn't rise. Look not with your eyes, but with your discernment. I gave you sight that pierces through masks. Use it. This time, don't second guess what I'm showing you. The one who passed away is speaking louder now. Their voice is urgent, yet calm, like thunder hidden inside soft rain. They won't tell you the truth, but I will. The ones you trusted were never sent to love you. They were sent to learn your language and use it to control you. But your silence, your softness, your mercy, they confused them. They didn't realize that though you are gentle, you are guarded by heaven. Archangel Michael says, I tried to warn you once before. I whispered in dreams. I stirred your heart when you sat next to her. I made your stomach twist when she smiled. That was me. I gave you signs, and you knew, but you overrode them because you wanted peace. But now, the time of pretending is over. God says, she will try again. One more message. One more apology. One more, I've changed. But this time, you must answer with your absence. I did not call you to babysit brokenness that refuses healing. I did not call you to fix what I have already removed. And there is more. God says, your spirit knows something else is coming. You've been restless. You've been waking up at 3 a.m. You've been losing interest in old distractions. That's me. I'm pulling you into alignment. I'm calling you to higher ground because what's about to be revealed will shock even you. The one who passed away says, they lied on your name. And I saw it. They sat in rooms and spoke curses while pretending to pray. They told half-truths to people who now look at you with suspicion. But God is a defender. And the tables are turning. The mouths that mocked you will become mute with conviction. Finally, God is exposing this woman. Open it now before she spins one more tale in your absence. She has been painting you as the storm while hiding her own thunder. But heaven has decreed, the truth will roar louder than her whispers. This is about justice. Not revenge. not bitterness. Justice. God says, I will not let lies last forever. I am the God of unveiling. I will not allow what you endured silently to go unrewarded. You passed the test of restraint. Now comes the reward of righteousness. Listen closely. Someone else is involved. Another woman. Younger. Quiet. Observing. She believed what she was told about you, but her heart is beginning to feel the cracks in the false story. She will come to you, not to apologize, but to confess. She will reveal what she overheard. What was said behind closed doors. What messages were deleted before you could see them. God says, prepare your heart. This revelation will free you, but it will hurt. Archangel Michael whispers, don't react. Listen. Then release. Your future cannot be built on rage. It must be built on clarity. You have been carrying too many questions. Why did she turn cold? Why did they stop calling? Why did things fall apart just when you started to heal? The answer is simple. They were sent to be seasonal, not permanent. And when a season expires, so does its grace. God says, stop trying to resurrect what I buried. That friendship. That job. That connection. If it ended suddenly, it was me. If it dissolved without closure, it was protection. I allowed the break so you could breathe again. Now hear this, there is a man whose name keeps circling your thoughts. You have buried the memory, but it refuses to stay silent. He knows what he lost. He carries guilt but masks it with indifference. He spoke against you, not out of truth, but out of pride. He wanted to discredit you before you could tell your story. But God says, I will give him no rest until he confesses. His words linger in the air like smoke, but truth is the wind, and I am clearing the air. The one who passed away says, do not entertain his return. He is not your healing. He is your history. This message is for you. If you've been feeling like everything is about to shift, that's because it is. Your spirit is ahead of your calendar. What feels unfamiliar is simply the future catching up. You are stepping into divine exposure. Everything that was done in secret will be shouted from the rooftops, not to shame you, but to vindicate you. Those who questioned your heart will question their assumptions. Those who walked away will watch your elevation in silence. And those who stayed, they will walk through the open doors with you. God says, I am not punishing you. I am positioning you. Do not mistake separation for abandonment. I am clearing the stage for something sacred. Archangel Michael says, this month matters. This next interaction. This next decision. This next prayer. Treat it like holy ground. Finally, God is exposing this woman. Open it now before she poisons the ears of someone new with the old story. She is not just lying, she is repeating. It is her pattern. And now, the pattern must break. Someone you love deeply knelt down and cried last night, because their family told them that you don't deserve to be loved. They believed them for a moment. But something in their spirit broke through the lie. That something was your prayers. Don't give up on them. They are waking up. The one who passed away says, I am guiding them toward you. But timing is everything. Don't force the reunion. Wait on God's release. This season is sacred. You are shedding false skins. You are releasing inherited burdens. You are walking lighter now, not because life is easy, but because your spirit is no longer chained to people who couldn't carry your calling. You will dream differently now. You will hear clearer. You will feel when someone is for you or against you. You won't need proof, you'll have peace. Finally, God is exposing this woman. Open it now before her next move causes unnecessary delay. This message is your warning, your comfort, and your command. God says, it's almost over. Just a little longer. What you prayed for is not denied, it's being prepared. You have not missed your moment. You have not wasted your years. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. This pain was not punishment, it was preparation. And now, your future is ready to be lived if you believe in God. Type Amen. Subscribe for more videos.